NewGenGamers.com.
Check the map again. Okay. So apparently you can traverse through here somehow.
How? It doesn't make sense.
It's okay, we'll just go back.
Okay.
Because there's a couple other paths we can take.
Okay.
We'll try the down path. But I don't know. A lot of people give this system a lot of
Flack.
flack online. I kind of wanted to give it just kind of a look at the library and treat it in regular console wars fashion.
Right.
Without just ripping into it.
Had the CD-I been a little bit earlier?
Well, it really couldn't have come too much earlier.
Like, maybe if it came in 1990, everybody would have picked up on it, you know?
Well, if it would have come out of that price point, if it would have had more games at launch, if CD-I would have actually had a clear, or Phillips would have actually had a clear vision of what they wanted to do with the system.
Phillips really, of course this is all theory right now, Phillips hasn't had really a clear theory about what they wanted in a console. Ever.
Well...
And that's all speculation.
Well, see, what they were trying to do with this is, first it was an entertainment machine, and then it was a games machine, and then
educational machine.
They're trying to do too many things at once.
Kind of like
3DO.
3DO. You really just didn't know what it...
I just got the compass.
Woohoo! Da-na-na-na.
Okay,
wait,
so...
where's that one sound? Oh, I don't have it on my phone anymore.
So let me see where the piece of the Triforce is. The piece of the Triforce is up.
How did you deduce that there, Sherlock?
Because it was blue.
It's gold? But, you know, fuck's given. He's just trying to get up rupees for a shield.
Right. Which could take a while.
And you died.
Okay, that was weird.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was the idea of my goal with this console wars, really, was to kind of give the CD-I kind of a fair look.
Well,
we broke it down as you would see it, and, you know, didn't just victimize it from the beginning.
Whereas this game has a lot of fails...
It's not awful.
It's not like some of the other awful consoles that you've either covered or about to cover.
Right. I mean, there's been some really bad ones out there, and there's been some really good ones out there. I'm one of those believers that every console has some sort of game that gives it some merit.
Okay, what game would you pick?
For this system?
Mm-hmm.
Voyeur 7th Guest Burn Cycle. And a couple of games we didn't actually play because we couldn't find a copy.
Or we found a copy. It just cost an arm and a leg and a firstborn.
Right. I mean, this is not a bad game.
Here's the games that I think really ruined the system, and that's Zombie Dinos.
The first two Zelda games.
I was gonna say the Unholy Triforce.
Well, you can't even really include this one because this one is playable.
Somewhat, yes.
The other one was just
Faces of Evil, and then Wand of Gamelon, and then even though it's playable,
Hotel Mario was fun.
Hotel Mario was what?
Hotel Mario was fun.
Yes, but in the sake of true...
It's not
Nintendo Spirit.
I played some Mario games that were just broken.
The secret level or lost levels.
Or the that special one for
yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that. So this one, it at least kept what it was trying to do. I mean, it wasn't. I would consider it more a spin-off than a full-fledged Mario game, because it's not. It's a spin-off.
But also,
and actually, some of the stupid porn games were kind of fun.
Well, there's one game called Vegas Girls that we didn't cover.
It was like a casino game.
Yeah, and the slot machines on that were really fun.
Yeah.
But again, there's some stupid adult games out there like strip poker that we could never win.
And they were just this system's biggest downfall.
It was not marketed as a toy.
Was inconsistency.
Well, Phillips seems to have that a lot.
Well, they just didn't. They couldn't catch on. Like it no matter how many times, whatever they tried, it seems like it hit a wall. And you could attribute that to the price point.
When they acquired Magnavox, who had the Odyssey out,
right?
The Odyssey seemed pretty cut and dry. You know, this is a gaming system. These are the games.
Right, and it was really more Magnavox that was running that at that time.
Right, but at least they could have said, Phillips could have said, hey, can you guys give us some pointers on how to keep this video game console, you know, just straight? What? We get ruby slippers! Or ruby boots. Woohoo. Zelda's getting hot up for someone. And we can't get to him. Sad face. Every girl needs a new pair of shoes.
Ellie, we have to go a different way.
We always have to go a different way.
It's a maze, I guess.
So it's not simply up.
No.
It's never simply up. Why would it be simply up?
It's around and over and down.
But Phillips, being the parent company, could have went to its little companies under him and said, hey, we need help with our console.
Let's be honest. Phillips is pretty much an electronics company.
Right.
I've had some Phillips electronics. The electronics themselves work great.
Yeah, they work awesome.
But again, the biggest problem with this system was inconsistency. They never had a clear vision of what they wanted to do.
Right. It was an educational, like you said, it's an educational machine, it's an entertainment machine, it was a gaming machine. In all reality...
And in the end, it became a surgical tool. You know, for doctors.
For doctors and colleges.
Corporate training. You know? Hey, we're going to put up our new training video. You know? Stuff like that. So they even took it to the professional market. They never really knew what to do with it. I mean, they had a great idea and a good format. That wasn't the problem. It was trying to sell it as a games machine on that alone.
Perhaps marketing and PR have something to do with some blame with that.
They actually had some decent marketing, too. They had Phil Hartman in some of their commercials.
Phil Hartman?
Yeah, Phil Hartman.
The guy...
from Saturday Night Live.
He was in The Simpsons sometimes.
Yeah, the guy that,
the lawyer guy.
Yeah.
Right, okay, gotcha. Well, if you have a guy like Phil Hartman do your commercials, why would you...
It wasn't bad marketing. It was...
Why would you not have a solid machine? Because Phil Hartman was awesome.
Again, lack of vision.
Right.
I mean, you can, you know, sell things or try and market it to your blue in the face, but
right.
If you don't have a vision of what you want to do, people aren't going to buy it.
Right.
But I think we have explored all we want to explore with the CD-I. If you want to try the system, feel free. Um, I'm not going to tell anyone to not attempt this system, but fight your own risk. You know, we've shown you what's kind of out there for it.
Right, and you're also going to get into, if you go on eBay to find these games, some of them are shoddy. I mean...
Yeah, and some of them are expensive.
Some of them are very expensive.
Some of them are overly priced expensive, as
right.
in they shouldn't be that with how common the game is.
Right.
People are just kind of jacking up the price on you.
Another interesting point is that we found some websites that recommended burning
yes,
games for it.
This system also can play burn games. So if you can get the ROM files, it's a good way to test
games
that you want. Well, legality on this, especially on harder to find system, is one of those gray areas. It's not like it's being sold right now.
Right, and it's very, but it just the fact that it can.
A lot of people want the real deal, so.
But it's more of a thing of, oh, can I find this, or should I sacrifice for this?
Right.
When it's just out there, but it's one of the systems that can play burn games.
Yeah, like the 3DO could as well. So you can experience the whole library.
Well, depending on your settings. But, all that. Regional settings and stuff.
Alright. So, I'm going to close out here today saying it's not as bad as the hype puts it, but it's not good either.
Right.
So, as for the Phillips CD-I, this is Ray saying, remember your history or you're doomed to repeat it. And
rest in peace, you piece of electronics. It's just collecting dust.
Good night, everyone.